I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from the Black Wealth Boot Camp. I just got finished meeting with my students. We have office hours a couple nights a week, and it gives us a chance to talk about just what's on our minds and what we're trying to do and all that good stuff. And I was telling my students about something that my daughter told me the other day, and she was telling me about a friend of hers who said, I can't get a job because these white people just ain't hiring us. And I thought that was an interesting statement for him to make. He's a young black man, struggling to get ahead, stuff like that. And she said to him, she said, actually, you don't need white people to create opportunities for you. You can create opportunities for yourself. And um, that was interesting to me because my daughter had been reading Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson, and I could tell that what she said really came from what she read in that book, what she'd heard me kind of talking about, etc. And I thought I would kind of bring this up because I think it's an opportunity to really talk about the importance of kind of understanding that you're not a product of your environment. You're not the result of somebody else's actions. You are not supposed to be what somebody else tells you you're going to be. You don't have to proudly wear the labels that other people put on you in this society. Um, you have the right and the ability to become self-determined, self-empowered, and to do things for yourself. Now we know it's not as easy as being able to get invited into the white man's house or into his corporations or his businesses, and we know what's old. We know that this country it was built by robbers and killers and people who stole everything from our ancestors. That's why the wealth imbalance exists to this day. That's why we're forced our children and all of us, many of us, were in situations where we've had to go beg white people to give us jobs and to give us opportunities. We know all that. And there's no point in walking away from all of that. But at the same time, we also know that we have the ability to do whatever we want to do if we're determined to do that. Um, what I would say to you is, I would refuse to go through life wearing anybody else's label. You need to start looking at everything that you've been taught, questioning everything that you've been led to believe, and realize that much of that is built on white supremacy. White supremacy is everywhere. And it even comes down to how you even see yourself in the economic system. Many of us are really taught to believe that we need to have a boss. Bosses come with any job we take, and those jobs are given to us by white people. So our success or our failure, our access to dignity, our access to manhood and self-esteem or womanhood is all controlled by the white man. It's all controlled by white people. White people decide if we're gonna get it. Well, these white people ain't hiring. They ain't giving me jobs. You know what? Here's one thing that's important and essential. Every black child in America needs to learn how to start their own business, just like learning how to start a fire. Just like the Cub Scouts, they make every child learn how to start a fire. Um, every black child in America needs to know how to start their own business. Doesn't mean that you have to be able to run a business. Doesn't mean you got to run a major corporation, but you got to know how to find money and find opportunity and be able to create something when the world will not give it to you. That's really, really important. And I've had people challenge me on this. I've had people who are just addicted to white supremacy, who would question me, and because what they believe is that our ability to be successful is defined by whites. If you look around, most of the so-called successful black people you see are people who were handed their success by white people. Most of the celebrities that you love who are making millions of dollars and run around like they're so important and I'm really an accomplished black man, and well, you know what, you work for a white guy, he hooked you up, good for you. And I'm not hating on it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing or that these people are just sellouts. I'm saying they were fucking lucky. Excuse my French. I didn't mean. I keep telling myself I'm not gonna cuss. I'm so sorry. I think that that comes out when I get passionate, when I just really start to feel something. And in this particular case, what I feel is that we've got to let go of this dependence, this psychological dependence, economic dependence, all these other things. Um, for me in my life, what it meant was I had to really reshape what it means to be successful. What does it mean to be a successful black man? What should you really be proud of? If you're proud of something that you've obtained, did you really obtain it, or did somebody just kind of give you something, give you an opportunity in exchange for good behavior? It's almost like a little girl who gets mad because the girl down the street has the nice clothes and all the boys like her, when really it's because she's having sex with the boys in the parking lot, and they're giving her whatever she wants because she's giving it up to anybody who asks for it. Well, we've got people in our society who are the same way. So if you compare yourself, if that little girl's comparing herself to the hooker down the street who's giving it away for free in exchange for material possessions, then she's always going to feel like she's a loser. But what she might want to consider is the fact that, unlike this person down the street, her dignity is intact. She's respected herself. She's put herself in a situation where those boys would know that if they want to get over on somebody, they need to go see her. But if they want to deal with a woman with pride and integrity, they're not going to get that from her. So what I would say is as a black person, I think it's very important to respect ourselves. It's important for us to let go of labels. That means in the educational system, you're constantly labeled. Criminal justice system, we're constantly labeled. Media labels us. That's why I don't watch Fox News. I don't give a damn what Fox has to say about black people because we know they're racist. I think we got to turn the gun in the other direction. Meaning, I'm not talking about the physical gun. I'm talking about the intellectual gun. That means when I look at Fox News, I don't give a damn. I don't consider you to be any sort of worthy media outlet. I'm not going to acknowledge you. Why should I acknowledge you? Because you have a lot of viewers? Really? Really? You're idiots. You're stupid. You say things that are inflammatory and evil just for attention. I don't really want to be a part of that. Because I have my dignity. I'm an intelligent black man, and even though you have a little more money than me, I'm gonna respect myself at least as much as you respect yourself, and maybe a little bit more. Um, and so that's what I think is important, because the thing is that if we're always comparing ourselves to white people by white people's standards, we're always going to lose. If you're a black person and you teach at an HBCU and you compare yourself to the black guy who gets the job at Harvard University, you're always going to lose, because Harvard's endowment, it by itself, is probably bigger than every HBCU endowment in the country combined. So you're going to feel inferior because these white institutions have so much power, so much wealth, so much influence, and you're going to really think that you're better off because you got hired by Chase Bank as opposed to the Black Bank, or because you're working at Harvard University as opposed to, some small HBCU, or starting your own university or whatever. And I just think that you have to let go of those labels. We have to start reconsidering the things that we applaud, the things that we're proud of. When Lil Pookie comes in and says, "I got a job. The white man hired me." He doesn't say that, but he says, "I got a job." We cheer. We're so happy for him. I'm so proud of you. You made it. You're successful. But really, what is he successful at? I mean, he's pretty much successful at getting white folks to like him. He might have skill as well, but there are a lot of skilled black people that are not liked by white people, who are marginalized by the system, who end up being disrespected because they have not been accepted by the system that's controlled by our oppressor. And when I talk like this, when I talk about this stuff, this is how funny America is. Just me talking about this stuff makes people start labeling, "Oh, you're a racist," "Oh, you don't like white people." Anybody who has an ounce of sense understands that this is a very complex conversation, in the sense that this ain't got nothing to do with me liking the white guy down the hall or working with white people. I work with a lot of white people, and I'm fine with that. I talk to them. I deal with them. But the difference is that I'm not going to let you deal with me as your boy. I'm not going to let you come in with your big fancy corporate shit and somehow convince me that the little thing I've created is somehow less worthy than what you've created. I'm not going to let you come to me and say, "Well, we have $1 billion in assets, so therefore you should be happy to come and work with us." No, I shouldn't. I don't have to come and work with you. I own my own. This is mine. And I'm proud of this. And I'm every bit as proud of what I got as you are of what you got. So don't ever come and talk to me and form a relationship with me in a capacity in which you somehow convince me that I'm inferior to you because you're affiliated with these predominantly white institutions that have so much money. So I'll deal with anybody, any nationality, white and beyond. But there's a difference between integrating and dealing with other people from a position of inferiority versus a position of equality. Understand that we've always been integrated with whites. We always will be. But when we are in a position of inferiority, where we somehow feel that we need their validation, we need their money, we need them to tell us that we're good, we need them to pat us on our head and tell us we're successful. We value the awards that they give us more than we value the awards we give ourselves. We wait for them to give us permission, almost a permission slip, like they're our parents or something. Malcolm X, we get mad because people celebrate Martin Luther King more than they celebrate Malcolm X, but you realize that Martin Luther King has been validated by whites. That's why Martin Luther King is going to be on the McDonald's commercial and Malcolm X is not. But who the hell says that you have to care what these other people are telling you? So I'll admit I don't have a lot of patience when I'm just seeing people celebrating black achievement because black people have gotten opportunities within white institutions. That doesn't really excite me very much. That just says, okay, good for you. You got in there. They let you in. That's nice. But I celebrate black builders because you guys out here who are starting your own things, who are building your own businesses, who are working with your children side by side to establish corporations that are going to be around in 300 years. As they have that saying, you're the real MVP. You're the real MVP in all of this. I'm telling you, you are the real MVP. You are the people that are going to be remembered. This whole like I'm gonna go bow and morph myself and try to assimilate in order to be successful. That's not going to be remembered. What's going to be remembered are the pioneers and the builders of this generation who created something that's ours, who that's going to create opportunities for the masses. So don't let anybody make you feel bad because you left the corporate job to go start your little business and ain't making nothing but $10,000 a year, and you're driving a hoopty down the street, and you're living in an apartment when you used to have a big house or could have had a big house. Don't let anybody make you feel bad. You be proud of what you got. And going back to the point of the reason for this conversation from the beginning, if I could talk to that young brother, I would just tell him like, don't be sitting around complaining to me that you can't work, you can't have your dignity because these white people ain't hiring. White people are probably never going to start treating you any different until you start treating yourself different, until you start responding to the world in a different way. But even then, when you stand up, you stand tall and strong, you hold your head up, you hold your chest out, you're proud as a black man, the world is not going to clap for you. The world's not going to say, oh, the good boy, here's a white man's award for being a strong black man. You don't want to wait for those awards. You want to be able to internally generate what you need to validate your self-esteem. I would just say learn how to start something on your own, learn how to make your own money, get affiliated with things that are in your own community, take pride, and just stop letting other people decide if you have the right to your own dignity and your own self-respect. Nobody should decide that. You decide that. All right, that's all I really want to say. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from the Black Wealth Boot Camp. Take care. God bless. I'm gone. Peace.